Hey guys, excuse me, it's Travis with Moving Mountains here. We're going to go over the second stage of our 9-stage process, our roadmap to online domination. I accidentally just recorded 30 minutes with no audio, so I'm going to redo this video. Hopefully we can shorten up a little bit. So let's dive in and knock it out here. So a working WordPress website. So we're going to talk about why WordPress is so important, why you want to abandon those basic builder sites that everybody starts out on, and why you want to just why it's so important to get on WordPress these days. So many people are using it. So yeah, here we go. Let's zoom out real quick, talk about where we're at in this 9-step process. There are many different steps that go on throughout a campaign here at Moving Mountains, and right now we're just on number 2. So we're gonna get to number 3 here tomorrow probably, and then probably even 4 in the next couple days. But right now we're on working WordPress website, platform and optimization, why you want to be on WordPress, and how WordPress is going to take you from just a random site on the internet to a specialized website that Google knows exactly what you do, and it's going to be a good user experience for your customers. So why WordPress? I don't know. Why WordPress? WordPress is massive. It's like 30% of the internet right now. We've been using it in-house for 8 years. Sorry, even before this agency, we were using it, people in the agency. So it's incredible. We've ran a bunch of tests out there to see, across different industries. We looked at like 25, 30 different cities. We're talking auto body, we're talking roofing, we're talking dental, chiropractic, law. We looked across all of those different cities. We're typing in those different keywords, the biggest, highest search volume, most competitive stuff. We're seeing WordPress being, if not the number 1 ranking site, 80% of the top ranking sites were WordPress. That's basically what I need to say. So 80% of them, and if they weren't number 1, there was a 2 or 3 that was showing up right there that was about to jump them, that was WordPress. So it's incredibly, incredibly important. We've got buddies at Google saying that's what you need to use. It's coded better. It's cleaner. So I think I just jumped ahead. But anyway, these are the things that we're going to go in this video. We're going to go over in this video. Why use WordPress, how to check your platform and see if you're on WordPress or not. We're going to talk about hiring a web designer versus having an SEO specialist, and often 99% of the time they're probably not the same person, or if they are, they're just kind of getting, I don't want to say that, they're not getting started, but I don't want to talk bad about either one at all here, but there are 2 different professions, and we just need to be very clear about that because they're both changing all the time, and they're very, very specialized. So oftentimes you'll hire a designer and they'll do just a few pieces of the SEO, but not all of it that needs to be done to get you that top ranking and really make your website a high performing lead generating machine, which is what we're talking about throughout these 9 stages. So then we're going to talk about design and content elements throughout the website that play hand in hand with on-page optimization. So let's dive in, guys. So why use WordPress? You see here 2 ladies giggling at some crappy website. You don't want to be that guy, right? A lot of the times user experience is everything. So if you Google something, you land on a website and it's trash or it's super outdated, especially with people that are kind of techie, you lose that customer and you lose them quick. That's what you'll look at your analytics, and we'll talk about analytics down the road throughout these steps, but you'll see a super high bounce rate from certain types of people. It's probably these guys. Anyway, let's dive in and talk about more about WordPress. So I talked a little bit about it. I skipped ahead. I'm going to probably do that a bunch, but examples of the 80% of ranking sites that were on WordPress. So like I said, across a ton of different industries that we work in all the time, we see the top ranking site. If not the top ranking, it's a 2 or 3 And many sites on the first page of Google are WordPress. Now, WordPress is a massive platform. It's super user-friendly, and it's very easy with plugins like Yoast or All-in-One SEO. There's tons of them. You can easily tell Google on every single page what that page is about, and they kind of give you a little bit of a roadmap to guide you, and so that you don't over-optimize or under-optimize. There's a lot more to SEO than just what these plugins do, but this is a really good starting point. We've even got buddies at Google. I kind of lower my voice because it's kind of weird to say, but we've got buddies at Google that have told us, use Google. Use WordPress. It's coded better. It's easy for people to use. It ranks really well. We've done tests on a bunch of different platforms. It just works really well. If you're not on it, then you want to have a development team or something like that, so that an SEO can work hand in hand with them and knock things out. Another thing is it's secure. If it's well maintained, you're updating your plugins, you're updating your themes, people aren't able to hack it. It's really, really important. So make sure your passwords are long, beefy. They got a lot of stuff going on in them. You're not using the same password across everything, and you're gonna be really in a good place. Google favors good, clean code. Like I said, we've got buddies down there that have told us straight up, use it. And we'll talk a little bit about code here in a minute, but ease of use. You can hire any blogger. They're going to know how to get in there and add content to your website. You can hire any web designer. They're going to know how to use it as well. It's super, super important. It's very, very popular these days. So how to check your platform. Let's dive in here so that you know exactly what you're on if you don't know that it's WordPress, and you can get over there faster. So we want to view page source. So this is going to be, you're usually going to go to your website, right click, view page source is going to be one of the options that comes up. Hit Command F once you're in there, and I'll show you an example in just a second. You're going to hit Command F or Control F if you're on Windows, and that'll pull up a little search bar, and then you're going to search for some key indicators. Now, it's a little bit different on every platform, but a quick way for you to check if it's on WordPress is just do WP-, and that will pull up a bunch of different stuff. So it's going to be a little bit different if you're on a GoDaddy site builder, or your site's Bootstraps, or it's Wix or Squarespace, or any of the other platforms out there. But this is a quick way for you to check if you are on WordPress or WP. So this is an example of you right-clicking view page source, doing Command F, Control F, whatever it is on your computer, and then WP-. And then you're going to see the little highlighted areas, and that are going to pull up different elements, different folders inside of your server that are just going to explain exactly what platform you're on. So if you see this, you're in good hands. You don't need to switch your platform. And we can get started. So let's jump into the next thing. So web designer versus SEO specialist. So these are both really, really intricate spaces, right? You've got people that have dedicated on the web design side, they've dedicated years and years of their life working and specializing on design and probably user experience and making things pretty, images, videos, all just tons and tons of amazing things, and they're constantly staying up to date with that. And then on the other side, you've got people that have done the exact same thing and dedicated years to being a specialist in SEO. So most of the times they kind of overlap just a little bit, but there are thousands of things that you need to know in each one of these spaces. And when you go and hire a web designer or an SEO specialist, chances are they're going to know, 10% of the other, or the latter, or however you say that. And this often gives like SEO and web design a bad rap, because it's easy for somebody to put web design on their website, and they're a web designer and they put SEO on their website because they can handle that 10%. They can do a little research and know that if you're an attorney, then you want attorney and law and all those different things on your website, but they're probably not covering the full spectrum. And that's only half of the puzzle, right? In SEO, and we'll talk about that in a minute. But there's your on-page optimization, making sure your website's great for Google, and it's also great for the human and user experience. And then there's getting that popularity contest. It's getting that trust and that authority built up over time by getting links built and having people talk about you. So oftentimes they're not going to hit both elements. And I kind of just blabbered without diving into these slides, but basically what we're working on is a way to empower your web designer. So you can go, and we want to be able to, and this is something we've been working on for a long time, trying to make it as easy as possible, a checklist or a guide so that you can say, hey, make sure you check off all these things. These are things that I want included in my design because I know that I'm a roofer in Houston, Texas, or Dallas, Texas, or wherever it is. So that's something we're working on. Hopefully we'll have it out by the time this whole series is done. So I already talked about this because there's so many different things going on, and both spaces are being updated constantly, and you're constantly jumping around and trying to figure out the best thing to do. So most of the time you only know 10% of you're not specialized in. And this is kind of funny, but you wouldn't hire a plumber to fix your roof. Just think of it like that. You wouldn't go to a sandwich shop and behind the counter ask for an attorney. That's just the way it is. Oftentimes you'll look at this and everything will be kind of coded in web design, and because that's a user friendly, that's somebody that can walk off the street and say, hey, I need a web designer to do stuff, and you just assume that they're really good at all aspects of it. But off the time, a great web designer will have a great SEO specialist. So that's one of the things we're working on, is reaching out to as many web design agencies that are good and vetted, and we have a whole process of doing that so that we know that they have a great SEO partner, a full agency behind them, and they can get the leads from that amazing site that they've created. So let's talk a little bit about the design and content elements that need to be on the site. So basically, as an SEO specialist, somebody say like yourself, or maybe a roofer will come to us, or a lawyer or a dentist will come to us, and they want to rank in 3 different cities for the services that they provide. Dental, let's just pretend dental here. So what we're going to do is make sure that there's specific topics and specific things that people are asking every single time when they go to a dentist. So we want to make sure that your website is saying all those things. They want to know prices. They want to know all the different procedures that you do. They want to know that people love you. They want to know, basically, you want to tell, we want to set up specific pages for the user and Google at the same time. So Google knows who you are, what you do, and where you do it. That's a quick way to sum that up. User experience is really, really important here. So how do we help people trust you? You want to make your site a little slutty. So sorry if that's aggressive, but you want to get fast, easy, and attractive. You want to do things like add chat to your website so that people can get that human experience just by texting. You want to have videos where you're answering, you're getting your face on the screen so that people build a relationship with you as soon as possible. You want to answer any frequently asked questions. You want to add testimonials, reviews. You want to be, you want to look like the best thing ever, because you want every opportunity for people to call you or get on the phone with you so you can convert them into a customer. Those are just kind of the basics there. Make sure your phone number is at the top of the website. Make sure there's a contact form. So every different type of human, there's many different types of people out there, and they want to do their own way of getting a hold of you or answering questions or getting questions answered. So make it easy for everybody, and then you can narrow down the perfect clientele from there. So what features do you need to rank? So these are going to be SEO specific. Site speed is super important. There's so many tools out there. You can just Google site speed test or things like that. And sometimes even site speed can be a specialist. It sounds crazy to add another specialist into this talk, but that's something even us as an agency, we have struggled with when we'll do a new design. we'll have a page that's just super slow and it's not performing well. And site speed is a huge factor these days in Google's algorithm. So it's really important to get it fast. Mobile friendly, you're not going to have to worry about that. If you are on WordPress, that's one of the massive benefits. But there's a completely different algorithm now for mobile. So people search certain things on their phone and then they go home and do desktop research. They knock out the in-depth research and they, not every time, but most of the time they make a buying decision there as well. So you want to have a great experience on both desktop and mobile. Super, super important. This is kind of new in the last year or so, but they really have been hitting it hard, especially with they did a Chrome update. Google Chrome is a browser that's used by over 1 billion people, and making sure that your site says secure at the top, HTTPS, it's got a little lock symbol, is really, really important. If it doesn't have that, it's going to say not secure, and there's going to be a little notification that says basically this could be a potential hack. They could steal information from you. It just looks super sketchy, and it will kill you in the long run if you don't take care of that, because it looks really, really bad. And Google owns Chrome, so they kind of have the power to do as they please there. So just get an SSL certificate, contact your host, get on chat with them, get on a phone call, or ask your web designer to hook you up if you don't have it already. It shouldn't be too hard, could be done in a couple hours. So sometimes it costs, by the way. I think sometimes it's up to like $100 a year. Sometimes they're free. Just depends on what company you're going through. So let's talk about some on-page optimization keys. Now we're just going to skim across the surface here. We spend weeks on this stuff, developing content and strategies and stuff for our clients. So in this 2 to 5 minutes or whatever I'm going to do, just know that this is basics. Excuse me, this slide is a little messed up, but so in our research, we're going to make sure that we define a strategy where we know the keywords we want to go after. And what we're going to do for on-page optimization is make sure those terms or variations of those terms are scattered through across your site. Now, you never want to overdo it, but you want to make sure that your keyword or a variation of it is in your title. It's in your content. You've got content developed around answering questions on that topic. You want to have your images, your alt text and your images named with variations of that. It helps Google understand what everything on your site is about. Your internal link structure. So you want to have a bunch of pages on your site, but they all need to be high quality and they link to each other and naturally. So if you're writing on a topic and maybe there's a good place for you to help people navigate to another topic that you've already written about, that's what I'm talking about here. If you just have 20 pages on your site and none of them are talking to each other, the odds of that happening are really, really uncommon. So something to think about. Titles, meta descriptions, videos. Videos are super important. And we don't use them every single time because not everybody has that video content, but YouTube is another property that was one of the biggest sites in the world, and Google owns them as well. And Google loves themselves. Nepotistic, I believe, is the term there, or nepotism. So they love their own stuff. So if you get a chance to get your keyword in a video, or you create a video and you can say, top rated attorney in Portland, 2018, I don't know, something like that. That was a bad example. But anyway, on YouTube, and then in your description, you've got those different types of keywords, you've got content in there, and then you can take that video and embed it on your website. Massive benefit, okay? There's obviously hundreds of more things we could talk about on-page optimization, and we'll probably do an in-depth version of this down the road. I'm thinking of actually doing a full-blown course where I've got 60 or so modules that are walking through every single one of these. But for right now, on-page optimization, if you're on WordPress, use Yoast or All-in-One SEO, and they're going to help you set up a basic roadmap. Or if you have any questions, you can give us a call, schedule a time, and I can help you out, or anybody on the team can help you out really and answer those questions. So that's pretty much going to wrap up this video. I know it was, we kind of sped through a bunch of stuff, but those are some really important key elements of getting a working website that, well, these days it should be on WordPress, and it's going to rank far faster and better and stick longer than the competition. So oftentimes we have to do double or triple the work if it's on some outdated, crappy platform. So thanks for taking the time to watch this video. We'll have another one coming out maybe tomorrow or the next day for you. And yeah, if you have any questions, feel free to hit us up. Contact form on our website, chat. Like I said, chat. We use Drift. There's ManyChat, there's Messenger, there's many different types of chat, but we use Drift app, so check that out. Get a hold of us or schedule a call and we can go in depth. There's also an exploration form on our site where you can kind of skip if you know you're ready to get started, you want to hire somebody, you can just skip and go straight to that and get a full-blown analysis done. So let us know. Thanks for taking the time to watch this video, guys. Have a good one.